Has anyone ever wanted to just stay in bed instead of getting up and going to school? Me too. But that's a problem because if you know if you miss school, you'll get behind on work, especially in Miss Tim's class, right? Well, what if I told you that sometime in the near future that there might be a way to stay home yet not get behind? Yes, I'm talking about clones. A clone is simply an organism or cell or group of organisms or cells produced asexually from one ancestor or stock to which they are genetically identical. So basically, you take a cell from an organism and then you do some scientific stuff to it and you get an exact replica of the organism you started with. And today, we're going to talk about the first animal clone and explore some positives and negatives of cloning. Has anyone ever heard of Dolly the sheep? Yeah, well I hadn't until I started doing some research on cloning. Dolly was born July 5th, 1996 to a surrogate mother. Dolly was announced to the world on February 22nd, 1997 as the first mammal clone in history. They named the sheep after Dolly Parton because the sheep was formed from DNA from the mammary gland of the mother sheep, and I just think that's kind of funny because they were making fun of Dolly Parton. But the mammary gland is just the gland that produces milk in female organisms. So it's kind of funny. Dolly died only a few years later in 2003 after having 6 lambs. She had 6 babies. Her remains are on display at the National Museum of Scotland. Cloning, however, has many downfalls. In many cases, cloning results in some pretty weird mutations. Dolly developed lung disease and severe arthritis, which led to her being euthanized and ultimately led to her death. Her life only lasted half of what was expected. They said they were expecting her to live 12 to 13 years, but she only lived 6.5 years. Cloning humans could also bring in new diseases, according to an article from Flow Psychology. Since humans have never been cloned, there could be many new diseases that happen in human clones that we don't know how to treat. Another potential problem of having human clones is clone rights. Would a clone that runs around as an exact physical replica of somebody fall under the same laws and jurisdictions that its human counterpart falls under? Imagine your clone killing somebody and then they blame it on you because you can't tell you and your clone apart. So that could bring a lot of problems in the law. But although there are disadvantages to human clones, it could potentially solve a number of problems, including organ and tissue harvesting, filling a void, and designer babies. The best match for an organ for you would be from yourself. If you had a clone, and then somehow your kidney failed, your clone would have the exact kidney, the exact perfect match that you needed. Because the clone is both an exact physical and genetic replica of yourself. It would be the perfect way to give yourself what your body might need. But that's not the only good coming from clones. There's a family that I attend church with who lost their 4-year-old daughter about 4 years ago. And I know that they would do anything to have their only daughter back. By having the ability to clone humans, that family and thousands of other families could potentially fill that void of a lost loved one. Now that we've explored some positives and some negatives of cloning humans and talked about the first mammal clone, do not think that having human clones is out of the realm of possibility. Whether you agree or disagree with having clones, be aware it could possibly happen very soon.